Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast, and now here he is. He's just a metrosexual podcasting guy covered in barbecue sauce. Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Big Brother Premiere Event Night 2. It's all happening. We have a new twist explained to us. It's not exactly what we thought, and perhaps this could just be the death of the floater on Big Brother. Very big night here tonight on Rob Has a Podcast. Let's introduce you to the panel tonight. Of course, here he is. He's my right-hand man for Big Brother. Here he is, Mr. Brian Lynch. Brian, how are you doing on night 2?
I'm great on night 2. I don't know that we've seen the death of the floater quite yet, and I'm not quite sure that Plaid is metrosexual either.
Okay, we will explore all of those topics here tonight. And Brian, I know that the sun is shining a little brighter today. Food is tasting better. The live feeds have just come on. Are you tempted just to X out of this chat with me and just go watch the live feeds?
No, because Dawn apparently is at midnight Central tonight, so that's when the feeds will come on.
Okay, good. So they have not kicked off yet. And here with us is a man who is going to help us break down exactly what this new twist means. He's the winner of Big Brother 14. Please welcome back a Thursday night regular here on Rob Has a Podcast, Ian Terry.
Hey, thanks for having me again, Rob. I'm not so sure if we should call up Arthur Miller yet. I don't know if it is the death of the floater.
Okay. All right. So Ian is being very literary tonight. So it's going to be a very, very fun show. We had a great time last night. Got a really great response from the Night 1 podcast. It did very, very well. We're very, very excited. Hope you're locked in here for Night 2. Again, we'll be live on Sunday night to see how this all works out. I'm very excited. Live feeds are going to kick off. Big Brother After Dark is back, which is my personal favorite. We've got the chat room here going. We're going to take a lot of your questions. You can send them in with the hashtag RHAP or on our YouTube channel by going to robhasawebsite.com/YouTube. We always appreciate it when you subscribe and also like the videos as well. And also on iTunes, if you just want to listen to the audio of any of our shows for Big Brother, you can subscribe to our Big Brother only feed at robhasawebsite.com/BBpodcast or robhasawebsite.com/iTunes for all of the Rob Has a Podcast shows of all the different reality TV shows. And so it's a big night here in Big Brother. So we have the live feeds are coming on very soon. Jeff Schroeder has been pounding Red Bull and eating Mounds and Almond Joys, right, Ian?
Oh yeah, all nighter. He's going to be up talking about crushes, playing Truth or Dare. Perhaps studying for an exam. I'm really not sure.
Hey everybody. First person to fall asleep tonight, I'm putting their underwear in the freezer, and we're going to be staying up all night for an all-night Big Brother slumber party.
just as long as he doesn't dip anyone's hand in warm water, I think we'll be all right.
Ian, if you fall asleep tonight, so help me God, I'm putting your hand in the warm water, and you're going to pee the bed like Nicole. Not Rob's wife, but Nicole that's in the Big Brother house. But Ian, I have to say, I don't want to bury the lead. What was your reaction to finding out that Nicole said that she is looking to showmance with somebody like Ian in the house?
I was, I made it the easiest decision of all time in picking my Big Brother 16 crush. So let me just put it that way. It made it very, very easy. Any girl that is pretty attractive that shows even a modicum of interest goes a long way.
Yeah, Ian, I'm so happy for you because you've come so far from you were on Big Brother 14. You said you were trying to get these girls in the house. They didn't want too much to do with you. And now, 2 years later, girls are going into the house saying they're looking for you. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would like it to get to the point where, we'll turn on the feeds and girls will say, like, Ian Terry picks one girl every year, and then the other girl goes, yeah, I hope it's me, and then they just have a cat fight.
Whoa.
That would be the ideal.
All right, well, that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get into everything tonight. Of course, the live feeds that are about to come on, if you still have not yet gotten your Big Brother live feeds and want to do so, you can do so and play Big Brother live feed bingo on robhasawebsite.com at robhasawebsite.com/bingo. If you don't want to wait for the card to come in the mail, I can also email you your card when you send us your confirmation. Let us know in the email that you want us to send you a digital copy of your bingo card, and we can get it to you tomorrow. So we are all set. You won't miss anything and have a chance to win $500 playing live feed bingo on Rob Has a Podcast. Okay, let's get into it. I guess the top story tonight is we finally know what's going on with this twist. We thought it was going to be teams coming into this. Ian, we didn't really talk about this with you in the preseason. Are you surprised to see how this twist is going to work out? And just in case, to reset, it is going to be, there are going to be two HOHs. The two HOHs each nominate two people. The two people that are each nominated battle of the block. And then whatever pair wins, almost like in the $25 peer RHAP mid, the two teams of two go head-to-head. Whatever team of two wins, they come off the block, and then the HOH that nominated them loses their HOH-manship, and then they are eligible to go up on the block, I guess, if the veto gets used.
Right. However, I'm still unclear as to how exactly this twist works. What if the HOHs want to nominate the same people?
Yeah, will there be a nomination? Will there be a nomination draft?
I mean, it would make quite a bit of sense to me if they had to draw chips, and basically, like, whoever got a chip that said one, it was like a snake, perhaps.
A snake, like what you got in Pandora's box?
A snake draft. You know,
yes. A snake draft. Okay. So, Brian, are you surprised that it's not teams? I thought that this was almost that we had heard that there was teams. Was this just we were reading into the two memory walls?
Yeah, I was reading into everything, but I mean, did they specifically say that wasn't going to happen? I mean, this is confusing about that. What happens if they decide they want to fight over who to nominate?
Ian, is this a case of us just not expecting the unexpected?
I think it's a case of us just not knowing the rules clearly, and I kind of just want to call up Rich and be like, hey, how does this work? I still don't get it.
Yes. Rich is the co-EP of the show?
Correct.
Okay. So lots of interesting stuff. We'll get into our 8 new house guests of the night who made good impressions and whoever what made bad impressions. Some people obviously did as well tonight. Ian, could you talk us through, and maybe you know or maybe you don't know, exactly what the time frame was of these 2-night events? Like, basically, if you had to guess, and total speculation on your part, can you just give us like the hour by hour of when did we start with the house guests on night 1, and then how much time elapses by the end of night 2?
Well, to me, it almost looked like the first HOH competition where there are the sandcastles and the kites. It almost makes me think that was early day 1. And certainly not like the 5 p.m., 4:30 p.m. move-in that they usually do. Because they looked like they had already settled into the house a little bit before they had the first HOH comp. So I'd say that was probably early on day 1. That comp was probably around like 5 or 6 o'clock. Then I would imagine that based on the fact Julie had changed clothes and had a different dress on, that the second group moved in on day 2 in the afternoon, typically around the normal time. So I'd imagine they were in there for maybe a little bit over a day before the second group joined them.
So
and
the
beds were all the beds were all like messed up. We saw that whenever Paula and Cody had that discussion on Wednesday's episode. So that leads me to believe that they slept at least one night in there.
So then the live audience, I mean, I almost feel like this must be a boring taping to go to. I mean, other than you get to see the people go into the house, I mean, are you watching something on TV, or are those just extras that are sitting there? I mean, it feels like that would be a weird taping to go see.
Yeah, I mean, I wondered the same thing last year.
Yeah. And Julie Chen is really doing a play-by-play of the competition as it's going, as like this endurance comp?
Yeah, she actually does do a play-by-play as it goes on. That's not pre-taped or anything.
And do they pipe that into the backyard? Are you hearing what she's saying?
Yes. We could, at least in our first HOH with the race, like I could hear it's like, and Ian comes back with the second bear for Team Boogie, like things like that.
Okay. Interesting, because I was wondering if it actually was the same day or not, and Julie Chen just did an outfit change. But I guess so. It was 2 nights, 2 audiences that were there, and basically they get to whoever it was. Are those actually fans there, or is that just one of these cases where we have like an audience that's stacked with CBS employees and people from already inside the building?
I mean, the evictions are fans, so I mean, I'm gonna assume the launch is pretty similar, right?
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
guess so. But I'm surprised that we don't have more leaks then if those are fans. That somebody's like, okay, I went to the Big Brother taping. Here are the. Well, I guess we already. I guess they would know who the house guests are by that point.
Right, and what I also don't know is if the audience are still there during the HOH comp. I know that I think in Big Brother Canada, I'm pretty sure, at least for the season 2 premiere, I think they sent the audience home before they did the icebreaker comp.
Okay. All right. Well, interesting stuff. At least to me, I'm not sure if ever if anybody
My
else cares
season
about it.
didn't have an audience at our launch.
Okay. Is that the only one, or has that been a very popular trend?
15, they started it. There
Okay.
used to not be an audience in the launch.
All right. So let's talk about the. You want to talk about the twist first, or you want to talk about the cast members?
I like the cast. I think that's the more basic, right?
Okay, so let's talk about big impressions. Okay, let's just go through the people that were the big stories, and I think that Caleb probably got the most airtime here. He comes into the house, hey, just a metrosexual country boy, and Caleb is almost like he seems like very. He's wearing like a hood over his head there. That seemed like an odd first impression to be making in the house. And also, he seems to own a lot of clothes that have hoods, Ian.
Yeah, I pointed out that on Twitter, his ears must have been really cold, but his arms were just like the perfect temp.
I guess so. Yeah, that's sort of like a weird look. Sleeveless, but a hood on. And
Yeah, I
so,
don't get it.
do you like the impression that he makes coming into the house? It's a very like he says I'm the lion, I'm not going to back down. Do you think is that the right impression to be making on night 1?
I don't think so. I mean, to me, when he says, I don't ever, plan on throwing a comp, I'm not here to fake people out, that shows me that he doesn't, I don't think he's going to do too well in this.
Now, Brian, it didn't seem to hurt him at all, though, that Devin is like, hey, that guy's a beast. I want to work with him. So it seems like almost as if I'm saying to myself, oh, this is bad, but it does not appear to be bad. It seems like his show of strength seems to be making at least a lot of the people who may not have a lot of Big Brother experience like, hey, I want this guy on my side.
Well, it was more than just Devin. I think Joey said something about it as well. But
And Frankie.
Their motivating factors were fear of this guy actually doing well in the competition. That's not going to help him in the long run in this game. I mean, he's pretty much sunk his ship already.
Yeah. Matthew in the chat room says, Caleb is not metrosexual. Metrosexual is the guy who dresses flamboyantly and lives in the cities. That is the opposite of what Caleb is. Does Caleb need to get a definition of what metrosexual is? I mean, I guess it's almost like if you took the word apart, really, I think Matthew does have a good point here.
I mean, I'm certainly no fashion expert. I mean, I wear cargo shorts and t-shirts. I don't know. Metrosexual, rural sexual, is that a thing? I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, the metro part really should mean somebody that is in a city.
Right, but I don't think you have to live in the city to be a metrosexual, right? You just have to like dress well and care about your appearance, but be straight, I guess, is what that means. So I don't really know. I don't really like the term. I think it just implies that straight people are in general slobs, and that if you care about yourself, you're a like. Why do we need to distinguish that? That's not really good at all.
Yeah, I want to live in Ian Terry's world. I don't want to define people anymore.
Right.
That's right. All right, let's talk about some of the other house guests that had strong impressions on night 1. Jocasta, a lot of screen time for Jocasta, and some people were saying, look, Jocasta is one thing in her bio when she comes into the house, she's not going to be talking about wearing a bow tie all the time. She's not going to be talking about God all the time. She's just say, it's a one thing in your bio, but when you actually get in the house, it's not going to be the case. Looks like this could actually be the case.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting that for the 3 weeks she's there, we'll be hearing the organ music playing, just like the Jamaica 2.0. We're going to be hearing that organ going, and it's going to be all summer long, but not too long, because it'll be like 3 weeks.
Yeah. Brian, do you feel like Jocasta is long for this world?
I mean, from what I've seen so far, she kept it in the DR. Now, it's one thing to minister to the viewing public, but it's another thing to start ministering in the house. And if she can keep it out of the house, then I think she can do better.
Yeah. Now, what does it mean when she prays, that God wants her to win the HOH competition, and then she does not win the HOH competition? Should we take this? How much should we read into this? Did God want Caleb to be the HOH?
Well, she prayed. She didn't pray. From what they showed, she didn't pray for a victory. She prayed to thank God for this opportunity and some other things that were benign. So she didn't ask specifically, from what they showed, for a victory in the HOH.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see exactly how it works out. In the other people in the group of 8 tonight, let's talk about Victoria here, because I think Victoria, I'm not sure what planet she's on either. Ian,
Planet
you have
Hottie.
What, Planet Hottie?
Yeah, she's hot.
Okay, well, apparently Ian and Victoria are on the same page. Ian, is Victoria indeed the hottest girl in the house, as she claims?
I'm going to say no. However, I think that she is very attractive, and at a certain point, you are just splitting hairs, and it really just comes down to personal taste.
Okay. Victoria gets along very well with Frankie. Do we think that this alliance will stick, Brian?
I mean, it should for a while, right? First impression alliances kind of go for a little bit. She said she wouldn't be against having a showmance if she could keep it secret. And we found out something about Zach, that he was Jewish. So
yeah.
They may hook up.
And he's from Florida also.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Andrew Gordon is just like I think he just started sweating a little bit, right? I don't know. Is he married? Probably.
I think Andrew Gordon is married. He's in Florida. They seem like they have a lot of things in common, Zach and Victoria.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would ship it for sure.
Ship it?
Yeah, you ship it.
Well, what are you shipping?
Them together in a relationship.
We're gonna ship them off to go like Brenda and Eddie. We're just gonna send them off to go be married.
Relationship. You ship it. I ship it like FedEx. Yeah. They're my OTP, Rob. Come on.
You're okay, OTP. Well, I won't even ask what that is. Okay, so then let's talk about Zach here, because Zach was Brian Lynch's pick to win the game. Ian, who did you pick to win the game?
I did pick Cody, and Zach was one of the 4 people that were in my contention to win the game. And right now, I kind of feel like I dodged a bullet. I haven't been this relieved since I decided on John over Paul for Big Brother Canada 2.
Brian, let's talk about your boy. Because, of course, if you missed our Big Brother preview special, Brian Lynch picked Zach. He said Zach is going to win the game. I felt good about Zach, but I thought he was going to probably be middle of the pack. I thought people were going to wise up to him. Boy, Zach may not get out of the month of June here, Brian. This is trouble ahead for Zach.
I mean, I don't even know what to say, man. He's put Frankie on a scorcher right there with the Pinecrest thing and him being rich and implying that.
Yeah,
and so unless he can do something to get rid of him and then bring it back down to reality levels where he keeps his mouth shut, I try to think, well, could this possibly be a good thing for him where he gets put on the block and somehow squeaks out of it and then makes a for real run at it because he went through that adversity early. We've seen it a lot. People get targeted early, put themselves in the perfect position. So maybe he is doing that, and he is being really smart about it, but I don't think that was his motivation for putting him on blast. I do think that he caused damage to Frankie's reputation in the house, though.
I think that's very possible. I mean, I
Okay.
think Zach picked up where he left off with Rachel Riley and Ryan Carrillo. Basically, I think he forgot it. His plan was to make people like him in the house, not keep roasting people like he was doing in his pregame interviews.
Okay, I got two things. Actually, as far as I can understand, what I had heard from the twist is that the two people nominated, if they win the Battle of the Block, they're good for the week. They are immune. They have, she said, you've secured your safety for the week. So I'm imagining that means you can't be put up as a replacement nominee. So if this is really the case, if you're nominated and you're on the block and you're someone like Zach, and say like someone just puts up like Zach, and say he puts up like Zach and I don't know, some other strong guy, like just say Devin or something, and they win, they're safe. They're good to go. So I don't think being nominated for Zach would really be the worst thing right now. It just depends who he's with. I mean, at this point, it's almost kind of like how you sort of want to be nominated initially because you know you'll play for the veto at least, right? You don't want to be backdoored. That's the worst way to go out. But in this way, if you're put up in that manner, you have two competitions to secure your safety. You got that and the veto. So it's a lot. I mean, with four people up, there's more room to hide. It's not as detrimental to be put up. And like Brian pointed out, if you're in the position from behind and then you somehow squeak by the first week, we see it all the time. Big Brother is a game that's traditionally won when you're initially at the behind. You play from behind in Big Brother. Right, exactly. So, I mean, he may have accidentally just stumbled into a great thing or a horrible thing. Time will tell.
Time will tell. But it was not a great first impression for us. You know, let's just real quick. Let's just talk through some of these other house guests, and then let's talk about the format and how we think this is going to go down. The other people that came into the house that we haven't talked about, Brittany. I thought she probably was the most boring of the 8 people that came into the house tonight. Very attractive. Cody seemed to like the. It was a mom that he'd like to become better friends with, and so very short package. Also, did you check out Brittany's package tonight?
Oh, I watched it. I paid good attention to those beach scenes.
Yeah, very short. I think she had the least airtime in her package.
Yeah, she she seems to be pretty low key. I think her and Zach actually, because it not only Cody and Zach. It not only showed Cody gazing at her, but Zach also seemed to be undressing her with his eyes, if you will.
Zach and Cody were both sweet on Brittany.
Yes. Thank you for making that reference. I found that hilarious.
There you go. So also Derrick came in, and Brian and I both thought Derrick was going to be somebody who was out early, but I thought Derrick had a strong night one. I thought he did a good job in the early going. Ian, your thoughts on Derrick?
Yeah, well above expectations. We'll say that. Seems to be pretty good so far. I don't think I've seen any sort of issue out of him. It remains to be seen whether he goes up for nominations or anything. A lot of people are going to be up on the block, and I could see him, if he just happens to be up there at the end of the week, he's someone I could easily see going. But so far, I'm all right with him. Not a bad first impression.
Okay, this just in from Twitter. Patricia Mason is reporting that Helen referred to Captain Kosher as single a few days ago. So we made this. Captain Kosher, are you single and ready to mingle? You tell me right now.
All right, someone tweet him and tell him to let us know.
Yes. Now, we're not talking about the other Andrew Gordon, right? That wasn't the other.
Yeah, not Gordo. Not Gordo.
Brian,
Kosher.
We were very down on Derrick. Did you turn around on Derrick after one night?
Well, what I worry about Derrick is how he's going to react under pressure. So if he's just we all know he's an undercover narcotics agent, or used to be, or whatever. So you would think that he'd be able to move into the house and kind of assimilate to whatever's going on. My worry with him, again, is what's going to happen if he gets targeted, how he's going to react.
Ian, you're a recent college graduate. Do you
Correct.
think that Derrick looks like a college kid?
I do not. I think he looks a little bit older than a college kid. It seems very much as to what he described. It's almost like that movie 22 Jump Street that's out right now that filmed at Tulane, actually. And I know a lot of people that were extras in it. But yeah, it seems very much like that, except I don't know how. What was that movie? Was it or movie show? Was Strangers with Candy? What was the point of that? Was she an undercover cop? I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure.
Okay,
But
I
anyway.
don't remember.
We get it. And then the other person that we haven't talked about is the Hayden. Hayden, don't call me Hayden Moss. Hayden Voss. And I thought he had a
Right.
good night too. I
Yeah,
think
no,
that he could be an early favorite here.
Yeah, I thought he did all right.
Yeah, he was like dopey enough that he wasn't threatening, but he was strong in the competitions. Could Hayden be this season's Frank, Ian?
Could he be a more low-key Frank? Sure. I mean, might he also be like a more slick David Girton?
Hard to be a less slick David Girton.
Okay, fair point there. But I don't know. I mean, he could be like Braden. I mean, if he goes, I do not want to be some jacked blonde hair guy from Venice Beach. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, you think that then Rob and Cass will lose their number?
Yeah, I think that no more Venice Beach surfy types.
Okay, so let's talk about what we think the HOHs are gonna do and how we think the strategy is gonna go. So this is a little bit sort of like a blood versus water type scenario, like on Survivor, where we have this wrinkle, and now we're gonna see in real time how the strategy plays out. Now, everybody on Twitter so far has been saying, okay, well, it's obvious you're gonna put up people who are the worst in competitions and potentially the floaters. So, Ian, do you think that's what's going to happen here tonight, or whenever we get our nominations? Do you think we're going to see that it's going to be like the Christines of the world, potentially the Jocastas, the people who were out early in the two competitions are going to be the people that end up on the block because the HOH is not going to want to have their nominations overturned and lose their safety?
Well, what I'm hoping for is collusion. However, I don't think that this set of heads of household are likely to collude with each other and come more or less to a joint decision with one pair that they expect to lose the competition and one pair that they, one pair they want to win and one pair to lose. So basically agreeing, in a more or less civil fashion, right? That's what I would think would probably be the best way to go about this. However, I thought about it, if I were playing, perhaps what they would want to do when they collude is you don't want to like put the floaters up right away. You don't want to. Let's not send the likes of Christine home too quick. I mean, not saying she's a floater, but okay, Jocasta, better example. Let's not waste it unless she's really making waves in the house. Here's what I'm thinking: you put up a pair that are like your king, when you're playing war. And then you put up the other pair, which are like your queen and your jack, right? So then that way, the two people up for nomination are still pretty strong, but they're not, too weak.
Okay. So you are sort of just like saying you want to hedge your bets here and put up people who might win the competition but might not win the competition?
Well, basically what I'm saying is you want to put up a pair that's definitely stronger than the others, but you don't want the other pair to be just like a complete pair of weaklings. Alternatively, another thing I thought of is you could put up in each pair or the pair that you want to lose the competition, you put up, say Devin, right? Or Zach, someone like that. Put up someone very strong physically, and then make their partner for the battle of the block like Jocasta or Donnie, so that person just like completely screws it up for them, and then they're on the block. So there's obviously a lot of different ways to play it, but I think there's definitely ways to play it right, and I think there are definitely ways to play it wrong.
Brian, do you agree with that, or you think that we will see them putting up players who are weaker strategically?
I think there might be a problem with like finding a target and pairing them with a weak person, because you would need to collude with the other HOH to make sure that they put strong players on the block to beat them and keep them on the block. So I think a better move would just be backdooring whoever your target you want to be the target.
How about this? How about could you have a pawn? Like, let's say I'm the HOH, okay, and Ian is my target, okay? And so I'm going to nominate Ian this week, but Brian is my ally. And Brian, I'm going to say, look, Brian, you're going on the block with Ian this week. You're the pawn, but I need you to throw the challenge, okay? So you just you be the mole in the challenge. You just make sure Ian stays on the block, and, you'll be safe for the next whatever weeks. And if somebody wins the veto, we'll take you off. But we just need you to make sure Ian stays on the block. Could you do that for me? Do you think, Ian, we will see that take place this season?
That's the thing is I really like that kind of thinking. Well, I was trying to think how I would game it initially, and I thought it would be the HOHs playing head-to-head. And I think the best way that I would have gone about that is to have intentionally put up two people and then told them that they were good to go, and then throw the challenge and lose the HOH privileges right off the bat to leave the other HOH's noms there. So instead of gaining two enemies, you would basically make two friends right off the bat. However, with this new wrinkle, I really think the best play here, at least for the first couple rounds, is for collusion. If I'm the HOH, I just want to make sure that I'm as safe as is humanly possible. So I really would like to see the HOHs sort of come to an agreement. Now, later weeks, once there's like this idea that they collude established, if you want to like get kind of shisty and then dupe someone into throwing it and then try to get them on the block after the veto, then that's all well and good. But I think the first few rounds, I really would like to see the HOHs collude. That's what I'm thinking. That's my play, 100%. Whatever you want is what I want.
Okay. Do we know at all? Have there been any leaks of who is on the block? Do we know this? Don't say who it is if we do know, but do we know anything?
No, the feeds aren't on.
Okay. I thought I saw a headline today that there was a leak that somebody had at least a speculation, but good. So we don't know anything.
Actually, someone did tweet something pretty.
Okay, well, then we'll wait till the very end to speculate. But do we have any sense that Frankie? Do we think that he will follow through on putting Zach on the block, or do you think that was an innocuous sort of thing that happened?
I could easily see Zach going on the block. I mean, he's already rubbed Frankie the wrong way. It really just depends on how Caleb and Frankie end up dealing with with the twist. How do they take it on? That's the question for me. Is it worth the risk to put up Zach, who seems kind of volatile, have him win, and then be scot-free for the rest of that weekend and be back in the mix to go after you? I don't really know.
Was there anybody that rubbed Caleb the wrong way so far?
I don't think so. I mean, did I sense sort of irritation when he was talking to Pow Pow?
Yeah, I couldn't really make sense of what was going on there with his conversation with Pow Pow. So she was talking to him, and she was asking him about what he's like. He's like, I'm very romantic. Pow Pow saying, I say it how it is. Caleb saying, I read people so well. I think I'm gonna win it. I don't throw anything. Basically, not holding back any cards there with Caleb. So hard to say exactly if he was, it just seemed like he was just like so in the zone at that point. It was almost like he was like sort of like a fighter before he went in the ring, getting ready for that first HOH.
Yeah, actually, here's one thing I'm confused. I can't quite remember. I was already a little bit tuned out. The Battle of the Block is on the Sunday episode, or is that on the
Yeah, this is a good question because I was thinking about this myself. So typically the Big Brother week in the past has been Thursday is the eviction, then Sunday night is the nominations, and Tuesday night is the veto ceremony, and then
Right.
Thursday we see what's happened since then. So now we're going to have sort of a new schedule here in the Big Brother universe where
Right.
we have to fit in the Battle of the Block and potentially the veto. So Thursday night will still be the eviction. Sunday night, will we get the nominations early in the episode and then have the Battle of the Block and then have the veto play out, or will we get our nominations still on Sunday night because we have to have 2 sets of
Right.
nominations, so that feels like weird, too much stuff to jam in Sunday. So then on Tuesday, will we get the Battle of the Block and also a veto competition?
That's what I'm unsure of. I mean, there is a veto this season confirmed, right? I mean, we're not seeing that go anywhere, I don't think.
Well, what Brian had said yesterday was that Mike Boogie hosted a veto competition on Media Day, right, Brian?
True.
Right, and the puzzle was a veto symbol, so I mean, it's just assumed that there will be. I mean, if there's not a veto, how can the HOH go up? I mean, that's confirmed.
Oh, okay, yeah,
logic.
that's right. And actually, now that I really think about it, I believe I saw an article where Rich. Oh yeah, I think they mentioned a veto in the episode, didn't they? They mentioned the HOH could go up after the veto, right?
Right.
Okay. According to Tyler in the chat room, Tyler is saying nominations and Battle of the Block will be on Sunday.
Okay.
Then join us on Wednesday when the power of veto will be used, and then Thursday will be our nominations.
Right. Okay. So there is the veto. I remember seeing an article where I think they said that Battle of the Block was replacing the have and have not comp. And I think Rich Meehan said that makes the Sunday episode more weighty.
Okay.
Which is right. Yeah. Okay.
More weighty. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? On the Sunday night, we did have the food competition. So if we sort of pull the food competition out of there, replace that with nominations, and then have the Battle of the Block towards the end of the episode, I am 100% okay with that. I could not care less about who's eating what in the house.
Same here. I think that it's a welcome addition.
Okay. Ian, did you take notice of who had the nicest tiny in the house tonight?
There's quite a lot of discussion about this. I mean,
What was it? A nice butt rotisserie in your mind?
I think Victoria definitely was looking pretty good up on the rotisserie machine. I'll definitely say that. But and man, that Brittany she is hot.
Okay. So Brittany is very attractive. Caleb came into the house tonight and said he thinks there's some hotties. He said of Amber is taking a big bite of my cake right now. Ian, you're on top of these things. What does that mean? Amber is taking a big bite of my cake right now. Is cake code?
I think cake, at least I think that means like getting his attention. Like his cake is his attention, right?
Oh.
I don't know. I think that's what it is. Taking a big bite of my cake. That's like he's getting my attention right now out of the girls.
Okay, I thought it
know.
meant that Amber was liking him, but that means that he's liking Amber. Brian, is that in your live feed wisdom? Have you heard something like that?
I've never heard this term before. The only thing I could think of was that he might be saying that she was like marriage material because you feed the other person cake.
Oh, could that be?
Somebody from the Caleb general area, please tweet us so we can figure out what that phrase means.
We might have to go on Urban Dictionary or RuralDictionary.com. One or the other to figure out what that means. All right. So let's talk about Team America, because it was a bit of a shocker here tonight, because we were going to get a reveal of one of the 3 members of Team America, and it turns out that we all expected it to be Frankie Grande, but instead it's that 10 out of 10 Joey.
Shocker, right?
Yeah, really. Shocker! I was surprised. It kind of reminds me of this idea that college voters, they're very, very, very strongly typically for the left. However, their polling numbers, like as far as how they show up, is just like really, really terrible. I think it's the same thing with the whole Frankie brigade, right? I mean, you have all these Nickelodeon viewers who are like, yeah, Team Frankie, yeah, Ariana Grande, woo, and then they just don't vote.
All right, so well, you're confusing me with your talk of liberal voters, because I thought you were talking about the people voting for Joey. So in
No. Okay,
liberal
so
voters
college
did
voters
turn out for Joey,
Right.
but in the case of the teeny bopper Ariana Grande fans, are we suspecting they did not turn out for Frankie Grande, or are we suspecting that CBS and Big Brother are giving these these people in random order?
No, because we're voting each week. It's the lead vote getter each week, right? So she had to have won the poll. And the analogy I was making was that college voters tend to be liberal, but their turnout at the poll is
No, I
horrible.
get what you're saying. That they're saying like they're all motivated, but like taking a bong hit, like, oh man, was today the day we were supposed to vote? Oh,
yeah, exactly.
So that's you think that the Grande fans may have been a little bit like, we got this, yay! And you think they rested on their laurels?
I think that the Grande fans there's two possibilities here. They're either like, oh yeah, I got to go and vote for Frankie Grande, and then they go, well, after I do my pre-algebra homework and watch Figure It Out on Nickelodeon, or
Girl Meets World.
Yeah, whatever shows the kids are watching nowadays, and or they go, yeah, I'm gonna vote for Frankie Grande, and then they see a picture of like Cody, and they're just like, but that guy's so dreamy, and then they just like vote for him 10 times.
But they voted for Joey.
Well, the vote split. I mean, I think that a lot of viewers wanted to see Joey get it, evidently, and that's what happened.
Who is the big Joey support? Are the people is it the blue hair? Is it, where are the Joey supporters? Is it the people that have the same politics as her?
I would imagine that it's probably Simpsons fans.
Is that what it is?
Maybe. But here's the interesting thing: is on Jokers, she's been pretty popular. On the first day with ratings, I have them up here. She was in the top 3 along with Nicole and Christine, and she was in the top 4 since yesterday's premiere. She'd since fallen to 6, but she was always one of the more popular contestants from the perspective of the cat lady, right? So there you go.
So Emma Lee in the chat room just said, so Ariana Grande never told people to vote for Frankie Grande, allegedly, according to Emma Lee in the chat room. Is this a problem potentially? Does Ariana Grande just have too much going on right now that basically her attention is preoccupied on her very successful career to this point? And maybe does she need to delegate sort of like a Team Frankie Grande like sub-unit and sort of get their act together?
Well, here's the other thought is, at least when I saw this poll, I did not vote. The reason I did not vote for the people that I liked thus far was I don't know what this twist entails. I see a line with America, I immediately think Eric Stein. And I don't want, sweet, innocent Nicole, who I'm totally rooting for, hilarious Zach, to be given the burden of having to follow America's orders. So I didn't vote. It might not be a good thing. And perhaps she, too, knows this and didn't want to. She's like, I don't know what this is for. I'm not going to say vote for him yet. I personally, I wouldn't want to be in Team America. Maybe $5,000 each task.
Yeah, you get $5,000 a task. That's a lot of money in Big Brother.
It depends. I mean, is it like you gotta vote to evict so and so, and then you got hinky votes? I mean, yeah, it is a lot of money for a task, especially if it's something like you got to go up to the HOH room and then fart. Something like the stupid ones, or get everyone to say I'd do that for $1. That's well worth $5,000, but game mechanic wise, I'm not too sure on that. I think Eric Stein would lament that he had gotten $40,000 plus stipendo when he had a pretty good shot at getting $500 if he wasn't burdened by it. But then again, that is Eric Stein.
Brian, have you gotten a sense from what they've been saying in the show what sort of things Team America is going to be doing?
Oh, heck no, man. We don't know what they're going to be doing. They say that you'll be working with Team America, that there'd be missions. Is that what the term they used, missions? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't remember. I just
don't
knew
know.
there's going to be tasks that they have to complete, and if that's the case, I mean, it just sounds like, to me, if you're going to be in an alliance with someone and impact the game, then that, to me, seems to imply that it's going to be very similar to Eric Stein, although I would imagine that the people that are going to be in Team America will almost certainly be less capable manipulators than Mr. Stein.
Now,
I don't
this
feel
is...
like...
Go ahead, Brian.
I was just saying, I don't feel like they're going to be forced to do what America wants them to do, though. People that you're in alliance with, you can suggest things to them, but you just can't say, well, you have to do this, and they do it unless you have complete mind control over them.
Brian, Matt Rubio is wondering, will America get to ask Joey to use the laboratory? Can we force her to do that if she doesn't want to?
She's going to have to poop.
Ian, is that true? Is that going to be an issue for Joey?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's a fear of hers in the Big Brother house.
Oh. Well, she better get over that.
She's probably already over it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they give you a grace period of a couple days where you can go when there's no live feeds.
Well, that is true, but you're not going to really see the toilet on there anyway. And I mean, like, it would be kind of amusing tonight. It comes on, there's no sign of Joey, and it's like, yeah, her bladder exploded.
So with these three people that are going to be Team America, now they are going to be the same three people all season long. It's not going to be like an MVP twist.
That's the scuttlebutt. That's what they've been saying.
Now, what if they turn on each other? Can somebody sort of like blow up Team America's spot and say, hey, everybody, just so you know, Joey has been making... Remember when Joey, stuck a pickle in your mouth when you were sleeping? We all got $5,000 from Big Brother, and we've made like 35 grand so far this summer that none of you guys got because we're part of the twist. And sort of like if somebody's like on their way out the door... can't this be problematic?
What if they're like, what if they're giving an incentive to make it so far in the game intact? Like if all three of you make it so far in the game intact, you get like a certain amount of money, and then at that point it's dissolved.
Well, that's true, but we haven't had any mention of it yet, and we did hear that tasks were explicitly mentioned. Now, here's the other thing that I thought of. If you think about it, Eric Stein was getting 3 tasks a week. This group, if they do 3 tasks per week, that's $45,000 potentially they have to give away every week. And if these were, just say, hypothetically, the final 3, they're going to be paying out an extra $495,000.
So you think at some point Big Brother is going to say, let's get some of these people out of the house, or let's make these tasks impossible, or let's end Team America?
I think there's going to be relatively few tasks. I think that they will be pretty difficult. If they are doing 3 a week, they're going to be pretty difficult to do. I mean, they're not giving away $1 million. I mean, here's the thing: if they were prepared to fork over $995, throw the extra 5 in and make the grand prize a little more, something enticing, or throw in some other twist to the game, kind of like they did in Big Brother 6. I don't think they're going to be forking over $590 for another $495. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I just feel like this could backfire on somebody if somebody is on their way out the door. Like, let's say hypothetically, America. Let's say Frankie gets in there, and let's say Donnie becomes the third part of Team America. Now, if these 3 people aren't on the same page strategically this season, like, can't you see somebody getting burned here? Of like, hey, you better vote to keep me, or on my way out the door, I'm going to be telling everybody, hey, by the way, Donnie and Joey are Team America.
There might be rules in place against that, though. I mean,
they said you can tell people if you want.
Oh, that's a good. That to me is. See, that to me is almost like a weird flaw of the game. I mean, obviously Eric Stein had to keep his. He couldn't say, yeah, I voted that way because America said so, right?
Yeah, you would think it's got to be, if anybody finds out, nobody's getting any money.
Right, you would think, but
And then somebody could say, hey, if you vote against me, I'm going to tell everybody that you're Team America. You get no money.
I mean, maybe that's just another concept. And the other thing is, if they say that, how do you believe it? I mean, that seems pretty out there to me. Someone could say that on their way out the door, and I'll be like, I think you're just trying to bury someone. That seems a little bit too far-fetched to me. I'd be like, Team America, somebody watched, Team America World Police while they were in sequester. Then I'd probably like, there's no way it would be called that. It's copyright. I wouldn't buy it.
You think somebody would say, there's no way they'd come up with that name for something. They would never name a twist something that was the name of a movie from like 10 years ago.
Right, exactly. I mean, I'd be like sitting there. It's like Team America. What are they expecting? Everyone to yell "F yeah," every time it's mentioned.
Brian, you want to sing it?
America. What is it?
Yeah. Okay. One last thing before we get to the questions. Big Brother ratings. Have you checked this out today, Ian?
No. How are they?
Big Brother ratings up from last year.
Yay! Woo-hoo.
Oh, what are we saying? Is this the Grande bump? Is this the Big Brother 15 house guests aren't back? What do we think is this?
I think it's a mix of both. I think there's been a lot of hype this year. I think it's been hyped up a lot more than it has been in previous years. And, I do think they're getting the Grande bump, the HD. I mean, let's face it, Big Brother, since Big Brother 11 has been trying to appeal to a younger crowd. I mean, this was evident whenever we saw the first Big Brother 11 commercials, and they were airing, on MTV and assumedly Nickelodeon, and they're just showing, slime and, gunge, and said, oh, it's the wackiest, craziest season yet. It's like Double Dare. You're going to go up the slide and roll into the bowl of Cheerios and find the flag, and then you win the veto and dump milk on yourself. I mean, I'm half expecting Mark Summers to just burst through the wall at this point. But I mean, yeah, it's younger viewers. They got.
Do you know that Mark Summers has OCD of he has to wash his hands 1 million times a day?
I did hear that. Yeah.
Isn't that the most ironic thing ever that he's the host of the sloppiest game show ever?
I know, and the only reason I bring it up, I had a dream the other night where I got into a fight with Mark Summers because I was auditioning to host Double Dare 2014.
All right. We'll do the more Ian Terry's Dreams podcast. I think that could be probably one of the best shows that we ever do. Yes. But let's get into some of your questions here as we go along on Big Brother night premiere event night 2.
Woohoo!
Okay, let's fire up some questions here. I know Scott is having a little bit of technical difficulties, but let's go for it. I can't read. Can you make this one out, Ian?
Let me see it. It appears to be written in some sort of alien language.
Okay, that's fine.
Here it is. If there's we just lost it.
All right, but this is from Sergeant Melody, who says, now that you get immunity with the BB16 Battle of the Block, does this now make the veto challenge the new BB Redemption Island duel? 2 chances?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, that's why I said if you're up for nominations, is it really that awful? I mean, you win that Battle of the Block, you're going to be sleeping easy from Friday onward.
Okay. Brian, is that how you feel also?
Yeah, I mean, if they're getting immunity, like it's been said, then you get on the block, you get off the block, and you're cool for the rest of the week.
Okay. This is from Dan Sinensky, wants to know, will Donnie catch on to oil Derrick's lie about being a Parks and Recreation coordinator? Okay, so because Donnie, I guess, works in groundskeeping, I guess Derrick did not factor that into. We know that he doesn't know who Leslie Knope is, which seems like a bad idea if you're going to tell people you're a Parks and Recreation coordinator, but he did not count on there being a groundskeeper on site.
However, although he doesn't know who Leslie Knope is, he did say in his Reality Relapse interview with Rachel and Ryan that he had previously worked as a Parks and Rec coordinator, so he does know the ins and outs of the job.
Okay. All right, so not that bad. Now, what do you guys think of Donnie's ability to make cricket noises? Ian, will that come in handy when the Big Brother house is actually infested by crickets later this summer?
That's the twist, Rob. That's the twist. No, that's ants you're thinking of. Ants will be infesting it.
I thought it was both. I thought that was the twist this season, that
Oh,
it gets
maybe
infested by ants.
maybe he'll know some potent ant, killing mixture and just whip it up and the whole house will be just free of ants for all eternity. One can hope, right? But
wow.
I don't know. I think he's pretty fun. I mean, he's got to know some sort of home remedy for ants. He's a groundskeeper.
Brian, did you suspect potentially that Donnie actually had smuggled a beard full of crickets into the house and wasn't actually whistling?
I mean, that was actually very accurate. I wasn't watching the TV when I heard that, and I thought it was like a sound effect that Big Brother was adding because something odd had gone on or something.
Okay. So, yeah, Donnie, keep the sound effects going. We need a Donnie soundboard before the end of the season. Okay. Legal Hipster wants to know, do you think that Paula and Frankie getting the most airtime meant something? But I would say, could this be the final two? Do you think, are the editors of Big Brother trying to tell us something, Ian? Is this going to be the final two?
Yeah, because, it's been predetermined. This was taped months ago, people. No.
No, and that was last night. I think that's probably a different story for tonight. I don't think that Frankie and Pow Pow had the most airtime tonight. Okay, let's go to Jason Riotmaker, who says the over-under on how many days before Pow Pow turns into that jealous kind of girl. Are you bullish or bearish on Pow Pow, Ian?
Very bearish.
Yes. You don't think so? You don't think it's happening for Pow Pow?
I think it's one thing, if you go in there and, she's been kind of getting this, seems to be doesn't gel well, does she? She's
very controlling.
Very awkward, not in the way, not like me awkward, just like kind of a different sort of awkward. And, she doesn't seem to be particularly good at flirting either, which I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, she does seem to be trying a little too hard, which maybe in reality she doesn't actually have to try too hard. I mean, in reality, she's at a club, wearing really short shorts. There's just drunk dudes everywhere, and they're just totally just all over her. And now Big Brother is a little bit different. There's not a ton of drunk dudes yet, and she actually has to hit on these guys.
Yeah, it's not, I don't know, where, you're not at the local bar, granted you're in New York, but still.
Your local tiki bar.
Right, exactly.
Brian, call it right now. Showmance for Pow Pow before she leaves?
Oh, yeah.
With who?
Definitely. Oh, well, who was it that she was liking the most? Pow Pow was into, well, she don't like Caleb, right?
Yeah. Ian, could you call the showmances this year?
No, it's a little bit confusing. I think Cody is a lock. I think he has his pick of the litter, basically.
For who, though?
Depends. If he wants Paula or Brittany, I think I'd be inclined to go for Brittany. Seems like Caleb is pretty into Amber, but Amber is into Devin, or at least yesterday she was. She might see Caleb and really be into him.
Yeah, it's almost like a romantic comedy. Everybody likes the. We don't have any matches with right. We have that. Here's Amber. She likes Devin. Devin likes Joey. Who did Joey say she liked?
She likes Caleb's butt.
She likes Caleb. Caleb likes Amber.
Victoria was in the mix somehow, right?
Yeah, Victoria. She likes herself.
Maybe her and Zach's the closest match.
I like Victoria and Zach. I think that's something I could definitely see happening.
I don't know. I think Victoria is pretty high maintenance. I'm not seeing Zach putting up with her.
Oh, no, come on now. Zach, he's obviously a pretty fratty guy.
Yes.
Let's be real here. he's probably had his fair share of high maintenance sorority type girls. I think that's territory he's all too familiar with.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see if any of these guys can get a match going on this summer. Let's go to Jonathan. And Jonathan said, does this now mean that players should not throw challenges because if they look weak, they'll be put up for nomination? Is this unfair for the less strong players / older contestants whom are already at a disadvantage? So is throwing the competition the new not throwing the competition?
I mean, there's a million ways to play this twist. We don't know how it's going to turn out yet. And, I mean, I would say that if it makes it harder for them, then I would say it's actually probably more ideal to go in looking weak because it used to be the people that were physically weaker weren't typically getting nominated, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would much rather go in with Andy's physique than, say, like, Frank's.
Okay. So, and this is one of the few times where you'd say that you would rather have Andy's physique than Frank's?
No, I would always want to go into a Big Brother game with Andy's physique than
Well, that's
Frank's.
what I mean. Going into the Big Brother house.
It's more even now. I mean, if that's what happens, then I'd say it's more even. I don't necessarily think it's unfair. I don't think it's a bad thing if that's indeed what happens. But there's so many ways to play it that I don't necessarily know that comes into play. I would always want to have. I mean, like Andy, or Matt Hoffman's frame. That's like ideal for Big Brother, I think.
Ideal frame. Okay. Speaking of somebody with ideal frames, what do you make of Christine? We haven't talked too much about her tonight, and actually, I think she was the one person I missed when we went through the 8 people. Are you a fan of Christine?
Thumbs up for Christine. I like her. I think she seems very cute. Like kind of like cool, very chill. I think anybody that's an exhibitionist, I think that's really groovy. Her and her husband seem pretty chill. So yeah, thumbs up on Christine. I like her.
Did Christine say that she's typically into short? What did she say? Like short, fat, and hairy guys.
Short, chubby, and hairy.
Is that somebody's thing?
I mean, I just want to know where to meet women like this, Rob. I mean, come on.
This is what you wanted. You wanted 2 women in the Big Brother house fighting over you. It just happened the one is married.
Yeah, well, one is married, so they look like a very great couple. So, obviously, I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a homewrecker, Rob. What do you think I am?
Okay. We have some more breaking news coming in from Twitter. Alex Wilpon is reporting. Russell Hantz has tweeted, I call dibs on that. # Brittany, # Big Brother. So dibs has been called. No word yet on if Russell Hantz is taking a big bite of her cake right now.
Yes, but it seems that Russell has forgot the #1 Alec Beal rule. There is no such thing as calling dibs on a human being. You meet them and you like who you like.
Okay, that's Alec Beal invented that?
Yeah, you cannot call dibs on humans. That's not how it. They're not property.
Okay.
Right? It's not like the front seat of a car. Okay.
You can't call dibs on property either.
That's not allowed either? Oh, man. What'd you think of Hayden Voss's lookalikes in the house? So he says that looks like, the Rock is here. Okay, we're all on board with that one. Yep. What about is Cody John Travolta? Are you buying or selling?
I buy that. I thought of that before he said that, so I buy it, definitely.
Okay, and then number 3, is Amber Whitney Houston?
I don't remember much what Whitney Houston looks like. That's a bit before my time.
No, I think he's off on that one. He missed the mark on that one. I don't think so.
Yeah, he's Spicoli.
Yeah, he's Spicoli.
He was Spicoli. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's do some more questions about tonight's show. Okay, this is from Bazingafication. Are you just as shocked as I am that Joey won America's Player? I'm not a hater, but I thought Frankie didn't win. Maybe Cody would. Well, we're all shocked here tonight.
Yeah, really a big surprise.
America thinks she's a 10 out of 10.
If I had looked at the Joker's polls, I always say, although we say Jokers are really big super fans and everything, and maybe they're like obsessive, or perhaps the term cat lady would be thrown around. If you do look at
feline owning females of America, Ian, we're politically correct on this show.
Sure. But if you do look at their polls, it does tend to be a pretty accurate predictor of how these sorts of votes will go. We saw it last year where Alyssa was consistently winning MVP, and she was always number one on Jokers. And last year there was that week where it was pretty unsure. Is it going to be Amanda going up? Is Aaron going up? Is someone else going up? We don't really know. They did have Amanda at number 16, and that is indeed who went up. So Jokers, although they are hardcore fans, they seem to also be in tune with the casual mindset, or at least the people that are voting.
Yeah, I remember last summer that you looked at your Joker's Updates tea leaves, and I lost $100 to you on a bet on one of these things.
Yes, that is exactly right.
Yeah, so I'm not going to mess with it again.
Yeah, Jokers, man.
I touch a hot stove. I don't go back. Okay, let's take some more questions here with Ian. D_V says, Frankie must have got the most votes. Come on. They obviously hit it to make it more interesting, right? Ian, you're saying they didn't do that, right?
I don't think so. I'm going to believe that the votes are fair. I do not think they changed the outcomes of votes like that. I would like to believe that these are fair votes, and I'm going to say that they are fair.
Because honestly, if you're Big Brother, don't you want Frank? Like, let's say hypothetically, the Frankie Grande thing is happening, okay? And you're CBS, and you're sitting there, and oh my God, we got 8 million votes coming in from Ariana Grande for Frankie Grande. This is happening. Would you then spurn those people that all voted and piss them off and make that or will that just get them more invested in the show to not give them what they want? Play hard to get, if you will. Or do you want the positive reinforcement of, oh, hey, I beat level 1. Let me get more invested in this?
I think that it really it's important. They're certainly honoring the actual votes. I would say, and the other thing is that if they I just had a great point, but I lost it. But I mean, they're certainly not changing the vote outcomes. I mean, here. Last year, when that MVP thing was just getting so monotonous and predictable and dire, when Alyssa was getting it every time, don't you think then they would have changed it?
That's fair. I also think that if it really was
the format, but they didn't, say, oh, Alyssa didn't win it this week, Judd did. They didn't do that.
And then if you got all these fans voting for Frankie, you got to throw them a bone, because you got to keep them in, then you have all these people that are voting, and then they're going to be like, oh, what gives? Like, I'm not voting anymore. Forget about this. And so I feel like I think it was a TED Talk where they talked about, like, you got to make like level 1 of a video game easy, because then people like, ooh, I know how to play this now. And so that keeps them going. And so to not give them their bone if they earned it, then I think then those people are just going to say, well, I'm not going to watch Big Brother anymore.
Sure. Definitely. Okay. Definitely a possibility there.
Brian, what's your take on that? You buying that?
Oh, yeah. I think she won the vote outright. I don't think that Ariana got out the vote for her brother, and it was before everything went down, before we even had our first podcast even. So, I mean, it was a quick vote. It went down. We should probably be thinking about who's going to win these other votes. I mean, who the fofo are going to want to win now.
All right, fair and square. She's a 10 out of 10, America. Boom. Joey is part of Team America. Do we want to endorse anybody for Team America?
No, I don't.
All right.
I'm scared, too, as well.
Yeah, we're scared. We should anti-endorse somebody. Okay, let's go to Matthew Hedges. Actually, you know what? I would say for comedy value, I think that we got to get Caleb in this Team America, because I think we need Caleb and Joey working side by side here. Let's bring the conservative and the liberal together. I think that might be the funniest buddy comedy to have them on the same team.
All right, I'll go with that. I can live with that.
We'll endorse BB Caleb. Okay, let's go to Matthew Hedges. Says, was Zach too aggressive towards Frankie in the first conversation, or did Frankie just take it the wrong way? No, he was too aggressive.
Too aggressive, way too aggressive.
Too aggressive. He needs to slow his roll a little bit. I think it's bad when Hayden Voss is giving you the sound advice to say you may want to pump the brakes a little bit there.
Yeah,
that was very funny.
What about Caleb, like right at the end of the episode? Did y'all hear him? He said it really quiet, but he said, "Who wants to lose to me?" And then Devin looked around at him like, "What?"
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what he said. I wrote a question marks in my notes of he said, "Who wants to lose?" What did he say?
Who wants to lose to me? Like as the game, the whole entire thing.
Oh, yeah, not so good. Shades of Jen on Big Brother 9, right?
Yes.
What'd you think of Caleb during the challenge, like flexing and doing sticking his arm out and stuff like that, really taunting the other competitors?
I mean, that's that peacock strut. I mean, that's not going to serve him well in the long run, I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah, if they think if it's easy, if you make everyone think that was easy for you, you're in trouble.
Okay.
Yeah.
Danielle in the chat room, Danielle Sutherland is saying, he said, "Who wants to lose for me?" Is that any better to say who wants to get nominated and lose in the challenge?
I don't know.
So we'll see. Crystal Palmer says, "Who did you think that the second head of household competition was unfair to the female house guests?"
No, actually, this is something I thought about. It was all the guys at the end, so I guess they were more strong. But we typically would say that the people that are lighter, which is typically women or like your Matt Hoffman, feminine body frame, I guess you could say, and we love Matt.
This is worse than when Matt said Adam Pock was an unpopular house guest.
But typically these challenges would favor the ladies. So it was kind of odd that we saw an endurance comp where it was these big dudes there. I mean, the only thing that I maybe they're implying is that because women have, something in the way of like keeping their body super close to, the core of their body super close to the bar, perhaps that was an issue. I mean, I guess it was favored for men if the guys were the only ones that were there at the end.
But couldn't some of the men suffer a groin injury holding on to the rotisserie too long?
Okay, that's also possible, but I mean
equalizer.
But you're probably wearing Under Armour, so you're gonna keep that back.
Under Armour.
Yeah.
Like a cup?
No, Under Armour. Like the compression shorts that keep it back.
Keep it back.
Yeah. When you play like high school volleyball, right? They make you have to wear Under Armour. Play any sport, it's compression shorts. What's it do?
Ian, what's giving you the impression that I've played any sport?
I don't know, man. I just probably have. I don't think it was that big of a deal. I mean, it's not that big of a deal whenever I sat on that thing, Big Brother 14, the fishing rod at the end. I mean, you got to just position it right.
Ian, do you think we're going to get Big Brother theme music and credits this season?
Yeah, it's just that typically they don't have it on the, or sometimes they don't have it on the launch.
Okay.
And it's just we had 2 launch nights, that's all. They did change the logo, which, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the new one.
Yeah, the one that's on the screen in the corner. Is that what you're talking about?
Not this one. Not that one. It's like
there's like 2 logos.
3D logo now.
Yeah, because the show's in HD. They needed a fancy logo.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, let's do 3 more questions here tonight. This is from Patrick, who says, is it fair to say 2 HOHs is more of a format change than a twist? Also, how does it affect backdoors? Okay. So, boy, how do you backdoor somebody, Ian? How would that affect? Let's not get into semantics of format change versus twist. All right, so let's talk us through how do you backdoor somebody now?
Well, you don't put them up for nomination. You hope that the other HOH doesn't put them up for nomination. Then someone that is
Then you have
nominated
to
during.
hope your people win, or you have to hope your people lose. Then you have to hope you get the power of veto, right?
Right.
And then, yeah, that's a lot of hoping.
It's a lot of work, a lot more work to backdoor someone. But at the same time, it does go back to, if you win that battle of the block, you're good for the week. So, that's the thing. Being nominated could be, it's sort of like Big Brother 13. Being up for nomination could be a very good thing, or it can just be a very bad thing.
Yeah. Boy. All right, let's take 2 more questions here tonight. This is from Dan Sinensky, who wants to say, will Paola and Victoria clash, work together, both, or neither? All right, let's go around the horn. Brian, Paola and Victoria, work together or clash?
Clash.
Clash. Ian?
Clash.
Clash. I think they're both gonna clash. I think that's an easy one to see coming. All right, and let's do one more question here tonight from Matt, who says, will the El Cuatro Alliance add any new members? Ian, should we just throw all the alliances from Wednesday night out the window?
What I was hoping was that they would only, well, not so much hoping, but I thought it would, if it were a case where they could only nominate a set group of house guests based, if it were like teams, I was hoping that if that were the case, they would have to nominate people on their own side, because then that would make the previous episode's alliances like a complete and total waste. However, I think that there is still some validity to the alliance that was made on the initial episode, and I think that those people will likely still be naturally inclined to work with the people that they knew a whole day earlier. It's kind of like how on Survivor we often see, at least in the early seasons, the tribes, they're more inclined to work with whatever tribe they're initially on once they hit the merge.
Yeah, that's fair. Brian, do you think that El Cuatro sticks together, or is it already over by the time the live feeds come on?
Well, Nicole has already expressed worries about that, and she expressed worries about Hayden and Caleb being strong in that. So I don't really think that she's too keen on staying with them, but they may stick together. I still have a feeling that the 2 HOHs will be given separate keys for teams. What are they going to do? Have 2 sets of keys?
I don't know.
No, the keys all look the same to me. They had wood. They were wood colored this year.
So yeah, so do you think the HOHs will decide together where it'll be one nomination ceremony, and then there'll be 4 people that don't get their keys, and then they'll just be okay, well, all right, Cody, I nominated you because everybody in the house wants to sleep with you, and there's that's too much of a distraction. And then it's okay, well, Nicole, I nominated you because you peed when you weren't supposed to last night, and then then go back and forth.
Right, I would imagine. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that the box will be split into 2, and that the 2 HOHs will be given half of the keys for each house, and they may even do it separately.
Right, although, yeah, I guess they just have to. See, the thing is, typically your nominations are locked once you take the velvet bag and put it into that small, the little box that stays with the producers. That's when your nominations are locked in. Once that's shut, done. Can't touch the keys anymore. So the thing that's interesting, it goes back to what order do they pick in? What if they both want to nominate the same person? How is that decided? And that's what's really interesting to me. That's a huge unresolved question, and we're not. I more or less understood the general idea of the twist about a week ago. And now I'm not any closer after 2 episodes to really knowing what's going on.
Okay. Ian, congratulations tonight on getting a name check on the Quack Pack from Julie Chen tonight as one of the naming 2 alliances.
Yeah.
Or the Quack Pack.
Yeah, it wasn't too shabby.
Yeah, there you go. Tonight, the live feeds are going to come out. Are they on yet, Brian, or we're waiting 20 minutes?
At midnight Central, so at 1 Eastern is what's
Yeah.
advertised on the
Okay,
feed.
1 Eastern, so about an hour and 20 minutes from now. Big Jeff is going to be up all night, live tweeting and partying, watching the live feeds, and so it's going to be a crazy night. Ian, do you think they will have provided them with alcohol or anything in particular tonight for the kickoff celebration?
Well, I hope they gave them libations. Yeah.
Yeah. How much alcohol do you think they'll give them for this night when all these people are going to be tuning in for the first time?
Well, let's see. They have 16 people, and for each of them to get a buzz, it would probably take an average of 3 or 4 beers. So I would say that they'll probably give them 5 light beers and a bottle of wine.
Each?
No.
No, for the whole house? For the whole.
Yeah, it's so bad. I mean,
You don't think that they'll say, hey, like, Big Jeff is tweeting about this tonight, or lots of people are.
No, it's very odd. It's very difficult to get any sort of buzz in there. You need to win HOH and collect alcohol, or what you could do is they don't give the alcohol away. Like, it seems like on Canada it just flows freely, right?
Oh yes.
I mean, on our version it's like, yeah, there's 16 of us, or I remember ours, there's 15 of us in there. It's like, yeah, we got 8 beers and a bottle of wine. It's like, all right, so everyone gets half a beer and a little bit of wine.
Yeah. I feel like it was on Big Brother 13. Maybe they did it in other seasons where they have, like, okay, the girls drink tonight, the guys drink tomorrow.
That's what we did. But the other thing is, you can't, if you save beers, they keep track of how many are in the house. So that if you save the beer, it just means that no new beer goes in. So you have to pretty much, and it's funny, if you win HOH, you always get 6 beers, but if you win it on a double eviction night, each HOH only gets 3 because they don't have 12 beers in there at once.
What if you drink the beer with a straw? Is that true? Do you get more drunk if you drink the beer with? What if you drink the beer with a straw in the hot tub?
What? Is this a film reference? I don't know.
No, I'm saying that they say you get more drunk if you're in a hot tub when you drink, and I think also that Brian, have you ever heard that before? If you drink with a straw,
raise your body temperature.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. Well, like, you'll sweat fluid out, which makes your alcohol. The blood alcohol level higher, which does actually make you drunker.
Okay. All right. So when the feeds come on tonight, how far into the process do you think we will? So we will have 4 nominees, right?
I think the Battle of the Block will be over.
Okay, so
down to 2.
The nominations will have already happened. The Battle of the Block will already have happened. Will the veto have already happened?
The vetoes will not have already happened. Well, very unlikely. It's only happened once where we come back from feeds and the veto had already been played. And that was on Big Brother 10, where Brian was evicted on day 8. For some reason, they did not give him 13 days in the house, which is the norm. He only got 8 days.
Ethan Brooks in the chat asks, Ian, when you streaked in Big Brother 14, did you do it before the feed started on purpose?
Oh, I streaked multiple times, but the first time I did it, yeah. I mean, the thing is, for me, I'd seen Richard Hatch's first time. I had always wanted to do something like that. So basically, I had kind of like nervousness about going to the bathroom at first, believe it or not. So the first night, a little bit buzzed, decided there's like the Lois Griffin effect, where it's like, let's get it out of the way and let the camera see everything. And then streaking was also sort of that. It's like the Lois Griffin effect. Now it's old news.
Yeah.
Old news now.
We have a nudist in the house now.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah. All right. So those are the live feeds. That kicks off about an hour and 15 minutes from now if you're watching live. Still time to get in on the Big Brother live feeds. Get the season pass and get Big Brother live feed bingo, where you can play to win $500. And I know it takes a few days to get the cards in the mail. Let me know when you sign up for live feed bingo through robhasawebsite.com. I will email you your bingo card on Friday, so you can go ahead and have that to watch the live feeds over the weekend and get in to try to win the $500. That's at robhasawebsite.com/bingo. Brian, how are you going to celebrate? Will you be doing anything special for the first night of live feeds?
I'm going to a neighbor's house that has Dreamcast, so I can watch it on a huge-ass TV. So I've got the hookup for tonight.
Whoa, Ian, what will you be doing to kick off the first night of live feeds?
I will be sitting in my apartment alone, perhaps drinking natural light and eating Cheetos.
Yeah. And I'll be watching Big Brother After Dark starting at 10 p.m. Pacific, answering emails. And by the way, if you're still waiting for your Big Brother live feed card and you've ordered it already, you can email me, rob@robhasawebsite.com, and I'll get you a digital copy as well. All right. So that's going to do it. Make sure you're subscribed. Our next show is going to be on Sunday night, talking about Big Brother after Sunday's episode. Subscribe on YouTube, robhasawebsite.com/YouTube. We also appreciate it when you give us thumbs up on YouTube. That helps more and more people find the videos. And then our podcast feed is at robhasawebsite.com/iTunes or robhasawebsite.com/bbpodcast. Okay. We'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the live feeds, everybody, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody.